Hi all you wonderful people of YouTube. In light of today's events, I thought it was necessary to do a video on Microsoft Azure, which is a cloud-based business service that has a lot of potential. And if you're enjoying the content, please subscribe down below and hit that like button for me, only because it would make me really happy, and apparently the algorithm likes it. So in case you were wondering, the quality of the show will drastically increase here very soon. I promise. This whole backdrop is going to change here shortly. So stick around for that, and y'all are wonderful. So a slight change of plans. Upon further investigation, I realized that my Microsoft Azure subscription has run out since I took the course, but if you want to see what that looks like, I have an entire lab on my GitHub repository where I went through the whole thing, and I will leave that link in the description down below. But this is 100% free, and we are actually going to download what's called VirtualBox. And VirtualBox basically lets you create a bunch of little computers inside your computer. So if you have Windows, you can have a Mac, you can have Linux, Ubuntu, whatever you want. So what is a VirtualBox or a virtual machine, and why should you care about it? Well, one of the reasons that we made this channel is because I make a lot of mistakes and I mess a lot of stuff up. I break things. Case in point, 2 weeks ago I deleted the desktop off of my actual working laptop that I use every day. Quick tip, you should definitely not do that, and if you do, it can be a little complicated to fix it back. But since we did, here we are, and VirtualBox is what we're doing today. So I want to install Kali Linux onto a VirtualBox that I can basically have a computer inside my computer. So if you want to experiment, if you want to do labs, if you want to just learn something new, this is definitely the way to go. So what we're going to do is we are going to open up our favorite browser, and we're going to go to virtualbox.org like you see right here, and this should come up. The platform packages here, this is how you download all of your whichever operating system you have, whether you have Linux or Mac OS, they all kind of work the same. So if you have Windows, you just want to click this here like I have. And while you're at it, down here at the bottom, you definitely want to download this VirtualBox extension pack. What this does is it lets you use USBs and pluggable things on your computer inside the virtual machine, if that makes sense. So once you have both of these things downloaded right here, you want to go over to kalilinux.com or .org, sorry. And from here, you should look at this page. And from this page, if you just want to scroll down just a little bit, you will see installer images. Installer images are ISO images, and that's how basically we install operating systems within an operating system. So you want to scroll down here. This is the one that I chose. There's two versions. There's a 64-bit version, and there's a 32-bit version. If you're using the 64-bit version, there's a setting that you have to change in the BIOS of your computer. If you don't know what the BIOS is, that's definitely a video for another time. But for now, let's just go ahead and install this. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments down below. I'd be more than happy to answer anything you ask. So once all of this is downloaded, it's a little large. It's about 3.5 to 3.7 gigs, depending on whichever one you download. So it might take a little bit of time. But once all these are downloaded, you just want to open up your VirtualBox, which I have mine on my desktop here. When you're going through the actual settings, I already had this downloaded, but you can pretty much just click next through everything. There's nothing that you have to change through the installation of the actual VirtualBox. But from the settings here on out, I got you. So from here, you just want to click on New. And from here, you just want to name your VirtualBox. I'll just name mine Kali Cloud, I guess. And then you want to pick where you want your VirtualBox to be stored, or your virtual machine to be stored. I actually have an SSD. Normally, it's only about 10 gigs that you're going to need to allocate. So 10 gigs is all it's going to take up. And again, all this is free. So I'm just going to put mine in the Kali VirtualBox folder. And then right here, where you go to select your ISO image, you just want to go to Other, and then go to wherever you downloaded that ISO image from earlier, which mine is right here. And then you just want to click Next. Now from here is where we allocate how much the little computer inside your actual computer is going to share or is going to take from your main computer. So if you have RAM, you definitely need at least 4 gigs of RAM to actually do this, and then I would only allocate maybe half that, depending on what you normally run as far as your apps and things like that. You can actually go and open your task manager, and in your task manager it's going to show you how much RAM your computer's running with all your normal stuff open. I only have 8 gigs of RAM on this computer. Honestly, it's going to be upgraded here soon, but with just the 8 gigs, I'll probably only allocate 2 gigs of RAM to my Kali Linux. So what we're going to do is this right here. Yeah, mine's actually already set at 2, so it's 248 megabytes, which is 2 gigs. And down here, the processors, I would not go crazy with the processors. Most of your normal laptops have extra processors that you can pull and share. Mine actually has 8, but we're only going to go with 2. 2's definitely plenty for pretty much anything you want to do. So then you just want to click next. And from here, this is the disk space, or however much you want to give memory-wise to your virtual machine. And you really don't need that much, but I'm just going to leave mine where it's at. It's at 25 gigs. That should be plenty. And so once you get to here, it'll ask you to install Grub, which you definitely want to do. Just click continue. That's a whole nother video. And then you just want to click on your actual hard disk. After you click next, it should be the only one that you have. So
Two days later.
okay, now that all that is finished downloading and we're actually in here now, your password should be whatever you set your password and username earlier, which I just set mine as Kelly and Kelly. Beautiful. And there you have it, a computer inside a computer. You can do all kinds of things in here. If I didn't mention it earlier, you can actually pause the current state of this. You can actually save the state and come back for it later, and it should be exactly where it was before. Say we just leave this open here, you go up here to machine, you actually go to pause. It'll pause the entire machine just like this, and then you go back to machine and you can hit pause again. It'll unlock it. So yeah, that was the installation of Kali Linux on a Oracle VirtualBox. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and there are definitely outtakes in the future that will bring you joy and happiness, I am very sure. But that's why we're here, is to put a smile on your face and to make your life just a little bit easier. So just remember, you're wonderful, in case nobody's told you today.